Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Special Battlefield Report. On October 10th, the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon and UNIFIL rejected Israel's request to push northward. And UNO declared it would continue its Security Council mandated mission until the situation no longer permits. However, facing severe threats to their safety, the peacekeepers ultimately had no choice but to evacuate. After the refusal, an Israeli Merkava tank fired upon UNIFIL's headquarters observation tower, injuring two Indonesian peacekeepers. UNIFIL had to swiftly consider a personnel evacuation plan. Later that day, UNIFIL head Jean-Pierre Lacrosse announced at the UN that 300 peacekeepers had temporarily relocated to larger bases, with plans underway for another 200. This accounts for just 5% of the 10,000-strong force, leaving the majority still in danger. This attack wasn't a deliberate move by Israel, but a counterstrike against Hezbollah's sneak attack. On October 10th, Hezbollah used anti-tank guided missiles near Ras Nakura in southern Lebanon to attack an IDF convoy of 5 tanks and 60 infantrymen. The Israeli tanks' return fire accidentally hit several UNIFIL positions, including the observation tower of their Nakura headquarters. As they retreated, UNIFIL and the 42 countries contributing troops condemned Israel. Italy and Indonesia, with 1,900 soldiers respectively, were especially furious. Even Ireland, with fewer than 400 troops, had its prime minister publicly denounce Israel's recklessness. However, these protests have little practical effect on Israel's military actions. UN Resolution 1701 from August 2006 mandates that no armed groups other than the Lebanese government forces operate in southern Lebanon. But yet, Hezbollah not only remains but continues to grow stronger in the region. Israel pointed out to the UN that Hezbollah's tunnels are just 150 meters from UNIFIL bases. Israeli Defense Ministry of Gallant stated in a letter to the UN, Israel has the right to take all necessary measures to protect itself and its citizens from Hezbollah's threats. The goal of this operation is to restore security along the northern border and allow displaced Israeli citizens to return home. Before launching attacks, Israel insisted that UN peacekeepers evacuate to proceed smoothly. If they didn't withdraw, Israel would directly target Hezbollah. Caught between two armies, UNIFIL couldn't maintain peace and had to retreat for their own safety. China and Russia backing Hezbollah were displeased as their proxy was forced to step back by Netanyahu. As UNIFIL's inability to maintain peace, coupled with Hezbollah's growth in southern Lebanon, stems from complex international factors. Hezbollah receives not only internal Lebanese support, but also significant backing from Iran and Syria. Russia, with 2 military bases in Syria, easily supplies weapons to Hezbollah. Iran, meanwhile, enjoys dual support from China and Russia. Iran's older missile technology, especially liquid-fueled missiles, primarily came from Russia. In 2016, Iran established a strategic partnership with China, acquiring comprehensive missile technologies, including design, production, launch, and maintenance. This explains Iran's capability to supply missiles to Russia. Essentially, Hezbollah's advanced technical support largely originates from the CCP. The Western allies haven't directly intervened in the Middle East, giving China and Russia opportunities to arm Hezbollah. However, the West hasn't been idle. Intelligence agencies like Mossad have been active behind the scenes. In September, Israel successfully separated some of Hezbollah's core communication systems, indicating strategic planning by the West. Over the past decade, the West avoided direct action to prevent destabilizing the region without sufficient control. This intricate international landscape allows Hezbollah's frequent activities in southern Lebanon, with the UN often turning a blind eye. Specific examples highlight the severity of the issue. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah's underground bunker, where over 20 terrorists were eliminated, is just 53 meters from a UN-established elementary school in central Beirut. Hamas and Hezbollah have dug 60-meter deep underground bunkers near UN facilities. And is the UN genuinely unaware, or are they choosing not to report it? Either way, it showcases the UN's ineffectiveness and potential internal corruption. These facts reveal that Hezbollah employs tactics similar to the Chinese Communist Party, hiding among civilians and using the Lebanese people as human shields. Just like the CCP positioning missile launchers in residential areas, they endanger civilian lives. While Hezbollah stores weapons in civilian homes, they haven't risked hiding their treasures there. The Israeli military has begun targeting Hezbollah's financial resources. Reports indicate that Israeli forces bombed Hezbollah's vaults in Beirut, burning $1.5 billion in cash and melting nearly a ton of gold, which seeped underground due to the dense heat. This strike threatens Hezbollah's funding. It could severely impact their operations and payroll. Hezbollah must be reeling from this blow. Israel's precise and fierce attacks have stirred strong reactions within Lebanon. The dire situation has even prompted some former Hezbollah supporters to reconsider. Recent news shows that senior Shia cleric Ali Alabama Ammon urged Hezbollah to transfer its weapons to the Lebanese army. Israel's actions have placed Hezbollah in a perilous position, and even previous backers realized continued resistance could lead to catastrophic outcomes. Israel doesn't seem content with just targeting Hezbollah. They're setting their sights on Iran. Reports suggest the Israeli cabinet is finalizing details for strikes against Iran. Now decisions have been made. Now it's about scope and scale. The Wall Street Journal predicts Israel might not share detailed attack plans with the Biden administration. Amid ongoing Middle East tensions, Ukraine faces a new phase in the war. Russian forces are taking heavy losses, especially among rocket artillery units. Previously kept safely behind lines, these units are now losing up to 6 systems daily since October. With conventional howitzers critically depleted, Russia is pushing rocket artillery to the front. These units are crucial for striking Ukraine and supporting ground advances. With such heavy losses, how will they continue their offensives? Sensing the disadvantage, Russia has adopted new tactics, ramping up airstrikes across all fronts. Unlike before, when they mainly relied on strategic bombers, they're now deploying fighters, bombers, and attack helicopters extensively. These aggressive airstrikes come even at the cost of losing 2 Mi-8 helicopters in one go. But for Putin, a few aircraft losses are a small price for the desired impact. The battlefront near Kursk reflects Russia's new approach. Since October 6th, the Ukrainian-held villages, bridges, and roads west of Kursk have faced intense Russian airstrikes. These attacks have even spilled over into Ukraine's Sumy region, with border areas reporting daily airstrikes over the past week. On October 8th, the situation escalated. Russia deployed at least 1 airborne regiment, launching a massive offensive from Koronevo towards Sudzha. In just 3 days, by the morning of the 11th, this regiment pushed Ukrainian forces to positions between Koronevo and Sudzha. If Mykolaiv to the north falls, Ukraine may have to abandon all positions on the northern and northwestern fronts near Kursk. Russian forces have also relentlessly attacked the Plykovo area southeast of Sudzha for 5 consecutive days, increasing pressure on Ukrainian defenses. After this barrage of attacks, Ukraine's territory has shrunk by 40% from its August high. So Ukraine's predicament in Kursk is evident in equipment losses. A Marder 2 infantry fighting vehicle and an M2 Bradley armored vehicle have been confirmed abandoned, highlighting the intensity of Russian attacks. The silver lining is that Russian forces haven't advanced towards Krasnodar and Pokrovsk yet, as Kurakhov and Silita remain unconquered. While the situation is concerning, it's not insurmountable. Russia's aggressive push aims to gain as much ground as possible before the rainy season. It's also a bid to influence the U.S. elections. If Trump wins, Russia might intensify its offensives. However, the critical question is how much capacity Russia has left to sustain these high-intensity operations. Recent bombings of ammunition and oil depots have significantly weakened Russia's war capabilities. Moreover, Iran is reluctant to let Russia use their supply rockets and missiles against Ukraine, further limiting Russian firepower. It seems Russia now relies heavily on North Korean artillery shells. Anticipating Russia's aggressive moves, the U.S. Department of Defense predicts Ukraine might strategically withdraw in certain areas, but will do so deliberately to inflict maximum losses on Russian forces. With winter approaching, the conflict may become more static, as ground offensives will be challenging. European nations are also preparing for a potential shift if Trump returns to power. They recognize that failing to resist Russia could eventually threaten their own security. Therefore, even if U.S. policies change, Europe has ample reason to continue supporting Ukraine. That's all for today's special report. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned for more of Vaporized's finest military comedy. And don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of chaos.